Okay, everyone, this is part 4, so let's jump right into it. So I turn off my character and I begin to make lines, the permanent lines for the background that I'm going to create. Right now I'm doing the rock formation, so everything is all squiggly and some parts look like they're cut. I'm adding like little trees and molds. Well, not molds. What would I call that? Moss. I'll add moss on the rock, and then I'm taking another layer and I'm making the trees. So I'm just going crazy with making lines and making roots, because trees don't really have, unified shape. It goes up and down, then you got your roots. So I'm just adding, little stuff on there, and then I'm adding the grass and the little lake that's supposed to be there, a river. It's just whatever comes to my mind. I'm putting it down there as a permanent line work. Now I'm like going a little bit more farther, where I am adding some trees in the far back and rocks, so it could look like she's not in a flat place. She's, somewhere that has depth to it. So I'm taking a look at her sword, because I can't remember her sword the way I created it by heart. It's just my brain don't work that way. So I'm just creating a quick sketch of her sword and what it would look like. I didn't really like the placement that I had, so I'm just playing around with where I should put it. So once I got that down where I want it, I just lowered the opacity and started working on the blade. With this, it was very tricky, because I had to make the blade look like it was coming at us. So it was in an angle where the blade is getting bigger and bigger as it comes more closer to the end of the page. I had to make sure I put grass, because grass is a huge factor in this picture. And I'm just continue on with making the other sword. And I did the same technique that I did on the last sword on this sword. So, making it looking. So making it look, identical. So I click back to my regular page, and now I'm beginning to color. So I'm coloring my blades the same color that they are in the last photo. Ooh. And now I'm adding the gold, and I got the gold from her earrings, and I just, mess with the colors. And I'm laying down that base color, so that when I'm ready to do the final little adjustments to it, it's easy. So here I go, making the shadow. And I'm using the same technique that I used on my character Fuji. It's just shade, then after shade, a little bit of foreground, and then after that, I take the airbrush and I just go over it with some white. And I do play with the blend mode, which is on the side. And I can mess with the levels there, which gives me that nice golden shine that I needed. So I'm starting to color, and I was like, I know the perfect picture that will help me color this, which was one of the pictures that I created in my manga, with Vincent looking over his hometown. And I just took the colors of the rocks and the colors of the trees from there, because I thought that scene was perfect, and I wanted to keep her in the same universe. I didn't want her to be anywhere else. But it's just the same technique, laying down the base color, adding the shade and the shadow, and messing with the blend modes, so that I could be able to make the picture actually pop and look like she's in nature, look like it's real. When it comes down to grass is just, there. I don't pay attention to it too much. Like, if I go over it with the color, I usually take the eraser and I just make little lines going up, because that does make it look like grass to me. I don't know how you guys do it. If you have any other ideas of making grass, you can put it in the comments below. But That's how I make grass. Um, and that's how I color grass. It's just lines. With the trees, you know, it's the same thing with the trees. If I go over something, I'll erase it and make it look like a tree in my imagination. or but the good thing about backgrounds is you have to always look at the real world and see how trees are and see how grass is, so that you can pick up your own ways of making trees and grass. It doesn't really have to stay the way anybody else does it. So for the grass, I added a texture, and it's like a texture that is already in the program. I think it's called Gauze Cloud or something like that. And then for the trees, I just added this layer that they had there, and it looked like bark to me, so I just threw it on there. Now I'm just adding shades underneath the trees and stuff, and I'm adding little bits of highlights, because when a tree is, with their leaves and they're covering with shade, you do get bits and pieces of highlights all over the place. It doesn't matter where you are. As long as the trees are all together, you will get little bits of pieces of light. So I wanted to keep her in a light area. That's why I have that there. But to make the tree look, I grabbed this, I think it's a leaf type layer that I could, as like a tool for the pen, and I went over her, and I was pretty much done. And, lower the opacity and you're done. So this is the character before and after, and this is how they look side by side. And I was pretty much impressed with the results. I was like, wow, I really, progressed within the 11 years that I've been practicing how to draw. That's about it for for this video. I want to thank you for watching all 3 parts of my video, and I hope it gives you some insight of how my brain works. Like, it doesn't work the way it used to. Like, I just go off, but now it's like I actually sit there and I think about things and make the proportions right and keep going with progressing in my art style. I just want to encourage you guys to continue to practice, continue to keep drawing, and I'll try my best to explain things on how I draw and how I work my characters out in Manga Studio. So if you want to keep updates on my creativeness and how crazy I can get my teaching skills and everything else with learning how to draw, learning how to visually do things in Manga Studio, hit the subscribe and like, and just keep updated and keep practicing and keep progressing. Do not get discouraged. My artwork was not perfect at all. It used to look bad and then I got this good. So I know you guys could do the same. Just keep practicing, keep learning, and get better. So that's my encouraging word for today.